Welcome to another episode of Happening Sounds.
This is not our first episode.
The topic of today's episode is whether or not music is a dying art form because of downloading. What do you think?
No, I don't think it's a dying art form. I think that downloading has changed the way that people consume music.
Okay. Positively or detrimentally, or both?
Both. A lot of bands, back when it's easy to produce music, you can do it on a laptop, you can get it out into the world super easily, but there's so many people who have that same thought and idea. It's beautiful. John Cage, let it lead it.
Yeah.
There's so many people who are doing it nowadays that it is like finding a four-leaf clover in a field. There's just so much grass out there that finding that one piece of special takes a lot of looking. And a lot of people want instant gratification, instant satisfaction. They want to find something that they love right away. So a lot of people depend on the radio. Is much music still a thing?
No.
Nope. A lot of people depended on people making the decisions for them. So that you got your X Factors, you got your The Voices, you got your American Idols telling you what is music and what you should be listening to. Anyone could do it. Anyone could put it out. And that sucks for some bands because they want that to be their golden ticket to success and fame and money and fame, more fame. They just want all the fame. But it's also great because if you just want an outlet for your art, you can do it. Some people say that if you're making yourself happy, if you're making something that you're proud of and putting it out there, that's success. If you're measuring success by a dollar value, you might never find it. So I don't think it's I don't think downloading is destroying the art form. I think it's just changing the way that the music world works. People are stealing because who doesn't like free? But some people are also maybe realizing that constantly stealing from the people that you want to create art isn't beneficial to them.
Well, that's true, right? And I think that's a key aspect of this question, because so many people are getting music for free, that it's also affecting the fact that there are fewer people out there in that marketplace where they're trying to get a financial reward from making music. Of course, the obvious comeback to that is that, well, if people are being true to art and creating great music, they shouldn't really be motivated purely by financial reward. But at the same time,
you need money to live.
You need money to live.
You can't.
And in order to make the great music, you need to live.
Yeah, you can't buy a brick of tofu with good vibes.
Yeah.
And good reviews. So I read that the music industry was in a better place when the old cigar chomping, business suit wearing music executive ran the label.
Yeah.
Because he didn't care what was cool or what wasn't cool. He cared about making that money.
Yes.
And so they'd go out and they'd find the people, and then the label, not the people, would be supporting that artist. The Beatles had it with Capitol, where they just had money shoved at them, and they could afford to go to the studio with a year, tape reversals and music concrete and just kind of pastiche a song together. And now that people don't really have that, a lot of labels and A&R guys are trying to find what's cool. Oh, those guys look awesome playing their music, or this person has a certain beard that that the kids will go wild for, and that doesn't work because it's your. If it was you, it'd be your personal tastes influencing your decisions.
Right.
You might not.
As a music fan.
Yeah, it's what you like. I mean, I just did that recently with my plug. Sounds Escaping's most recent release. It was a band that not a lot of people have heard of, but I believed in. And I don't think it's a failure. I mean, financially, a month in, maybe a little bit. but I believe in it and I love it and I want more people to like it. If I was looking at it from a completely business standpoint, if I wanted to be financially successful, I would have aimed for a band that is still together, still making new music, still touring, and has a bigger fan base. But I don't think that the art is dead because it's not selling as well as the previous stuff that I put out. The art is created, it exists, and if people want to buy it, then they want to buy it. People, going back to money, make decisions with their money.
I think a question that I think about with this whole issue is the whole question of what psychologically physical product means. And the notion is that many people are just downloading music and it might end up on their phone or it might end up on their computer or whatever, but it's just this file that occasionally might get randomly opened up and listened to. But perhaps if you have a physical product, it's something that you engage with more, and you sort of there's sort of that that effect of it becoming part of your tribe. You know, oh, I'm a Motley Crue listener or whatever. You know, you were like, oh yeah, like I'm in the same gang as the other people who listen to Motley Crue or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's something that I feel like, especially when, for example, you're in the presence of some high school students or whatever, and you don't see them wearing band shirts like they did back in the day, because music is this thing that's in the background. It's not as appreciated maybe as it was before by the majority of people. It's gone into stamp collecting area.
Yeah, in a sense, when you brought that up, having something tactile and existing physically, I was thinking about music shirts. Like when you go out wearing a Slayer T-shirt and you see someone else wearing a Slayer T-shirt, you nod at each other.
There's that connection.
There's that instant connection.
Yeah.
Or if you see someone wearing a Slayer shirt and you're not wearing your Slayer shirt, you can just look at them from across the Costco lines and just go,
yeah.
And you guys know that it's in reference to the Slayer shirt.
Oh, cool.
If you're not wearing your Slayer shirt,
man.
it's just like, I have a Slayer shirt too. It's in the wash. But you have something physical. Like whenever you have parties here, whenever I have people over at my house and they go into the music room, it's something to actually like flip through and say, oh, I want to listen to this. You would never go to a concert or like a meet and greet or whatever and pull out your iPhone and be like,
oh, look what I got in my playlist.
Look what I got over here. Look, I downloaded your album. Sometimes like illegally. When Mountain Goats are here, my friend Crystal used to have a little art gallery on Albert Street, and John Darnell showed up, and she is a massive Mountain Goats fan. And she told him that she's got like 30 of his albums illegally downloaded. So she gave him like a free piece of art from her show as kind of like an I'm sorry, this is embarrassing. I know that when you go see an artist that you admire and you pull out a record or even a CD or anything, even a shirt, just something physical saying like, I want you taking up my space. That means a lot to people.
Yeah.
Like that physical presence. They're not there, but a piece of their heart and soul is physically actually with you, not just taking up ones and zeros in your computer. When you have just a whole bunch of songs, Hardwood Dave has a playlist on his computer of songs that it's called Two, and it's songs that he goes through, and it's songs that he's played less than 2 times. 2 times or less. And then he listens to them, he makes sure, and then if he doesn't like them, he calls them. Which brings me to another physical thing.
Yes, I know where you're going with this.
Okay, so people talk about vinyl records, and however you want to ingest your music is great. People talk about vinyl. They like the artwork. They like the size of it. They like the sound of it, the feeling, whether it's nostalgic or whether it's aesthetic or whatever. They like the feeling that they get when they listen to vinyl. And the ritual of having to listen to 22 minutes of music and then actually get up and physically flip that record over. And I think that's a valid point. I am a CD guy. I like having as much music on a disc as I can. I don't have to get up for 60, 70 minutes sometimes if I have a deluxe reissue with all the bonus tracks. But for me, the ritual is the same, where you go to your shelf of spines, you pick what you're looking for, you open it up, you place it in the player, and you hit go. With Hardwood Dave's playlist of 2 or less, if he plays something and he realized why he hadn't played it more than twice, right-click, delete, gone. It's in your recycle bin, or it's deleted from your hard drive and it's gone.
See, I find this, what you're just addressing here, to be an interesting part of this question too, because there's this notion when you have a list of music that you've downloaded, it's like, well, I only want the songs that resonate with me,
Yeah.
the ultimate level of profundity. Well, but with records, you almost feel that you have to listen to these music that maybe isn't your ultimate fave,
But you're going to get to your fave.
but you're going to get to your fave. So there's a reward.
Yeah.
It's like the journey through the jungle to get to that glistening sapphire.
Yeah.
But also the fact that often there's an art to the sequencing of an album, right? So when you're listening to What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, there are tracks on there that if you listen to them individually, they won't mean a lot. But as parts of what's going on,
As it's woven together,
as
though,
it's
it's
woven,
a full tapestry. Yeah.
it's a full tapestry.
So with records, it's tougher to skip between songs when you want to get to just the hits, just the good stuff.
But my argument goes further. You shouldn't even be thinking that way. You should be taking in the full music as it was intended.
Well, so the argument that people try to make against me loving CDs is, well, the vinyl ritual is so much better because you can look for the gaps between the grooves and drop your needle there. But you start off at the edge. A lot of turntables, you just hit play and the stylus will just find the edge, and then you have to work your way in. They say with CDs, well, you can just go ahead and skip.
Mm.
All right, well, there's some discipline there too, because if you really wanted just to hear, Within You Without You by the Beatles, you can go and drop your needle there, exactly where you want it to play. There's a discipline in all art where you have to sometimes just wait it out. I hit play on my CD player. I will walk away from my CD player. If I don't want to hear a song, I'll wait 4 minutes until the next song comes on. There's a discipline to that. Also, even getting rid of music. So Hardwood Dave culls his collection with a right click, and he's like, I don't want this anymore. Mm. Sometimes you buy a record based on cover art, based on a recommendation, based on reading a name somewhere. Or you inherited a bag of CDs or something, and you want to get rid of it. You can do the right-click delete and just throw it in the bin, or you can try to, and this is where it's different from just a file, you have to go online, or you go to a record shop or a garage sale, and you actually try to get rid of your art to somebody else. A crib or a stroller. It might not have any more use to you, but it might mean the world to somebody else. And I like that circle of life where you have a record where you're like, you know what, I'm just not into Bauhaus anymore. And then you go on Discogs, or you go to Music Trader, or you go somewhere and you get rid of it so somebody else can discover it. And it exists. It continues existing in the world as was intended.
Further to that, the idea that you're talking about getting that album in a random way, like some relatives give you a box of records or something like that. And there'll be that record and you'll listen to it and you're like, first reaction, don't really like this, eh? Mm-hmm. But then, it's often happened to me in a case of records that the first time I listen to it, it's like, oh, this isn't my thing. Mm-hmm. And then it grows on me and becomes one of my favorite records, right? And so if you're just going on first impulse and then erasing these files, well, there's no chance for the music to grow on you.
Right? I mean, you could always re-steal it.
Yeah, that's right. You could always re-steal it.
Not so much with the physical.
Thanks for listening. Press the subscribe button below.